What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. These Thanksgiving week episodes are brought to you by Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon is a beautiful brand designed for one reason, to make your basics and beyond. That means your underwear, your t-shirts, your socks. They're smartly designed, and shopping for them is easy and convenient. They started by engineering their own fabric, meticulous design process so you can count on the fit being the same every time. The difference is in the details, so they obsessed over every stitch and seam until they found their definition of perfect. Mack Weldon will be the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants, and more that you will ever wear. They've got a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, which means they eliminate odor. So if you're traveling, you're packing light, you go to the gym, these are important things. And they want you to be comfortable. So if you don't like your first pair of underwear, you can keep it and they'll still refund you. No questions asked, guys. It's Black Friday coming up. It's the holidays. Now is the time to buy stuff for the people in your life that you love. And not only does Mack Weldon's underwear, socks, and shirt look good, they perform well too. Good for working out, going to work, going on dates, everyday life. And here's the deal for you, everybody. For 20% off your first order at Mack Weldon, visit MackWeldon.com. Enter promo code SMOKINGTIRE. That's promo code SMOKINGTIRE. And get 20% off your first order. Promo code SMOKINGTIRE at MackWeldon.com, MackWeldon. Promo code SMOKINGTIRE. Get yourself 20% off with that code for Black Friday. And speaking of Black Friday, my people at Crown & Caliber, my watch sponsors, the people who brought us the Watch and Listen podcast for 18 whole months, are sponsoring the Smoking Tire Podcast for Black Friday through the holidays. And if you ever wanted to buy a watch, let me tell you why you should buy one now from Crown & Caliber. First off, if you didn't know that you could buy luxury watches secondhand, not only is that a thing, not only should you do it, you should pretty much only do it. There's very few exceptions where you don't want to buy a luxury watch secondhand, and there's many, many examples of why you should. And for Cyber Monday, Crown & Caliber and their 2,000 plus watch inventory, their technicians on site, and their great return policy, their great trade-in policy if you want to get rid of a watch, and their limited mechanical warranties, here's the deal we got going for you, okay? It's a little complicated, but it's going to save you a lot of money, okay? So, for watches under $10,000, you can get $300 off with code 300OFF, the number 300 off. For 500 off watches between $10,000 and $20,000, you can get code 500 off and save $500. That's 500OFF. And if you want to save $1,000, you want to be a heavy hitter, you buy a watch over $20K, you can save code with 1,000 off, 1000OFF, save $1,000 on any watch over $20K. That runs from November 26th to December 3rd, okay? Big money savings, right? But anything you buy, you can return through early January. So if you want to get someone a gift, you don't have to worry that you won't be able to return it or exchange it if they don't like it, because they can do so after the fact, okay? Now, maybe you don't want to spend $10,000. No problem. Entry-level watches, okay? Code, write this down, TST175. TST175. That code, TST175, is good for $175 off a watch under any watch over $2,000. So if you spend between $2,000 and $10,000, that's most of your watches on the site, you can save $175 with code TST175. They're adding new watches every day, so check it out at crownandcaliber.com. And if you forget the code, please email me or something. I will help you remember later. And it's Autotempest.com. Autotempest is the place to look for cars. You know why? Because it's not just one place. It's all the places, folks. Autotempest does all your car searching and puts it into one place. It searches all the top car sites like Cars.com, Cars Direct, Cars Soup, and then it compares with results from all of Craigslist, and it compares with eBay Motors, and there's new marketplaces being added all the time that it compares with. The bottom line is, if you save time, you save money, because you are a person who has value and worth, and your time is worth value and is worth money. So you should try saving it whenever you can. Autotempest.com eliminates one step of the annoying double work of looking for a car. Whether you're just browsing, whether you're shopping, or whether you're looking to sell, Autotempest.com is where it's at. All the cars, one search. Lastly, it's the ThinkWare dash cam. Holidays are here. Take advantage of it. Get your car guy or gal a dash cam. Keep them safe. ThinkWare's best and latest dash cam, the U1000, is now available. It's able to capture clear and crisp videos of your drive. It's the very first 2-channel dash cam in the world to boast a native 4K front and 2K rear resolution. In addition to the amazing video quality, the U1000 can also save you money with its speed and red light camera alerts, or make you a safer driver with lane departure and front collision warnings. With the remote live view and parking impact alert cloud features, you can instantly check on your car or be notified of potential hit and runs. The U1000 and ThinkWare's full range of dash cams are available online and in store at thinkware.com, Best Buy, and Amazon in both the US and Canada. With coupon code SMOKE20, that's SMOKE20, SMOKE20, you'll receive 20% off any regular price ThinkWare dash cam. That's code SMOKE20, SMOKE20, at thinkware.com to redeem that coupon at checkout. Available in the US and Canada on their website, thinkware.com. All right, folks, on this episode of the podcast, we got Freddy Tavarish Hernandez in studio. He was actually here 2 weeks ago, and I messed up the order of airing the podcast. So we're talking about post-SEMA, we are talking about his YouTube story, and we are talking about the Lamborghini Murcielago that he rescued from the Fast and Furious 8 prop department and restored in his garage. It's Freddy Tavarish Hernandez on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
There it is. What up, fuckers? Smoking Tire Podcast. Happy Monday. Happy Veterans Day.
Yes. Happy Monday and Veterans Day to everyone.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Freddie Tavarish Hernandez in the studio.
How are you?
What's up happening? What's up, man? How you doing?
A lot. So, thank you. By the way, thank you for having me here.
My pleasure.
It is very lovely being in the studio again.
You're 2, not 3. You're number 2.
Oh,
not number 3.
Okay.
We started late tonight or today, and actually it was partially my fault. I thought he was like late, but he was actually just sitting outside not calling me.
I was here at the time I was supposed to be in, but there was like a miscommunication. I was waiting for Matt to show up, but I didn't realize that Matt already showed up with another car.
Because I'm driving such a non-me car.
Yeah, it basically just blended into the parking lot. I'm waiting for obviously not the Countach, but I'm waiting for like a Porsche or whatever. Yeah,
I'm not sure that car blends into the parking lot.
Oh, Vinny, we got to turn you up a little bit. Are you mic number 2? Says
test 1, 2.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, Vinny Rousseau. So I brought Vinny here because you, Freddie, got back from your first SEMA.
Yes.
And Vinny has been to how many SEMAs in a row?
In a row?
I mean, I don't know. Total
16.
That's like all of them. That's like all the SEMAs.
It's like pretty much all the SEMAs.
Every SEMA ever.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought it'd be an interesting experience because we can talk about fucking SEMA.
Apparently, SEMA has been around for like a long time. I realized that
since the 60s.
Yeah, they've been around for like 900 years. It's crazy. Yeah. Like since the Dark Ages, yeah.
Do you like still find it fun, Vinny?
I do. I do. It's you have to make it. You have to go in there with a game plan of what you want to get out of SEMA, and then just attack that because it's very overwhelming. I mean, I can imagine, literally, that was your first time at SEMA ever?
Yeah, so I had a list of companies and people I wanted to talk to, and I got to maybe like a quarter of that list on the last day.
Yeah.
Because it was nonstop. I didn't know what I expected, and I got a lot more than I ever imagined.
It's like trying to run a marathon without training.
Yeah.
Or having never ran before.
Exactly, yeah. I've never ran before, so let's run 26 miles.
It's literally what it is. Mm-hmm. Including the distance that you walk is close to 26 miles. But SEMA over the years, even the last few years that I've gone, it's changed a lot between the format and what people are trying to get out of it. And it's, when I first went years and years ago, it was much more of the trade show it was supposed to be, and it's turned into, and they've tried to knock down the amount of tickets that they give out, because it's turned into just a free for all of just a car show.
I like the shady scalping, like the fact that it's like, it's a trade show, but it started to be like so many people wanted to go that it was like, how do I hook up these VIP tickets? And like people would ask me like, it's pretty much like. It's pretty much like almost priceless, because it's like you can't buy them anywhere. So unless you have the hookup, you can't go. So it's like all these VIPs are like you scamming, like
they think that they can just jump in and go.
Yeah, you go meet a celebrity at SEMA and they're wearing a thing that's like, Alec Baldwin, and it's like BJ's Parts Company, Austin, Texas.
The amount of people that I met, I said, "Hey, who are you with?" They're like, "I'm just here by myself."
Right.
I'm like, listen.
This year they were tough on it, because they had an auditing company that came in and was auditing people's. There were smaller companies that had been to SEMA for a decade, and then they couldn't go because they sell a product that should be on display, should have a booth, and SEMA went, well, if you should have a booth and you don't have a booth, you're not getting tickets.
Oh yeah, wait. What? So the new rule?
Yeah, the new rule is if you can be an exhibitor, you have to be an exhibitor if you want tickets.
But did that actually stop any? Did it
was
seem
like the
it was
biggest
less
crowd
crowded?
I had ever seen, so I don't know how that worked.
It's nuts. So what I know from working with companies, and you know this as well, but some people might not know, is that if you have an exhibitor's pass, then let's say you have a car like mine, which had lots of different companies working on it. You can't talk about those other companies.
Yeah.
Like they have like plants, like SEMA itself, the show, the organization,
fuck out of here,
has plants that go around and make sure that you're not talking about some other company that you're not authorized to talk about. So, and if you get caught,
when you say talking about, you mean physically having a conversation?
Having a conversation about this company, yes.
What?
So
that's some crazy shit. I never done
so
like that
it's like, if somebody asks you, oh, so what's this? Like, well, this company is blah blah blah, and like you start like,
well,
kind
what
of
if your car's on display in the McGuire's booth, but it's got stickers on it from a dozen different parts companies?
So that's fine, but it does, if it starts looking like you're trying to hawk that product or trying to, like my Lambo has a product called Clarity Coat on it, but I talked, like everybody
that's
asked
like
about that.
It's like a ceramic coat, right?
Yeah.
No, so it's like a sprayable paint protection film. It's like this next level thing. It's crazy.
Is it actually like wait a minute, sprayable
paint protection film? You saw my car.
So it's like the same thing. It's basically like, what are they, like Plasti Dip, but fucking paint protection film?
No, not really like Plasti Dip, but think about it like this. It's sort of like Plasti Dip, but it has a clear coat that you can sand and buff to a show car shine, no matter what kind of orange peel you might have. You can change color, and it's completely peelable, and it's like scratch proof. So
how long will it last if you take decent care of it?
The same as your paint, like 5 to 10 years, maybe longer.
Do you wax it?
You can do anything you want to it. You can.
Do you need to wax it, or does it look like
No, it's for all intents and purposes, it is automotive clear coat. It's a proprietary thing, but yeah, it's just like
and you spray it on at home. Anybody could do it.
No. This is high end application.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this it's not a DIY, because you need to have like a good paint booth.
Yeah.
But as far as like PPF,
is it rubberized, or
so
like...
the base level, the base is a rubberized thing, and then you can put a water-based paint on top of it.
Turn that mic a little more pointed towards your mouth.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Hey.
Okay, sorry.
So the base is rubberized, and then you can put a water-based paint on top of it, or you can just leave it clear. It dries matte.
Wait, back it up. You can put a water-based paint on top of it.
Yeah.
So if you want to change your color, that's what you're doing. You put this shit on, and then you paint it.
Yeah, you paint it. Yeah,
Weird.
Yeah. So and
you spray that paint, or do you roll that paint, or what?
Yeah, you spray it in the paint booth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's you can do any color. You can do OEM. You can do crazy. You can do graphics. You can do stencils. Whatever you want. And then you put 2 layers of clear on top of it. It has a proprietary clear. And
so
then
when you touch it, what does it feel like?
So I mean, have you touched my car? It touched like.
That's a good point. I didn't feel it on your car.
It's just like paint.
It's just
how
like paint.
how thick is it? Is it visibly thick at all?
So visibly thick. It's almost like it's thicker than a PPF or a vinyl wrap. But it provides way more protection. But it's pretty thick. It's like, I don't know if you know how they measure thickness, but it's like 8 to 10 mils.
Yeah.
So 8 to 10 mils is where they start. So it can go up to like 14 mils depending on how much product you have. I have a ton of product on my car. Yeah. So it's like we've literally scratched like the hell out of it.
I saw a video where you keyed it, right?
Yeah. And then we peeled it right off. And
how nerve-wracking was that when you did that?
Very like extremely.
I mean, you just finished painting the car. You put this stuff on there.
Yeah.
For the most part, as far as you know, in your world, untested, and then you just literally grabbed your keys and went.
Yeah. So that was that's sort of the
but that's
Billy
for the
Mays
lulls,
type thing.
dude. It's for the lulls,
of
and
course.
The views. And by the way, let's look at your. Let's just like fucking. What happened? Did my mouse?
What happened to your mouse?
My mouse is like not going across.
This is why you buy PC, people. You know that the Mac is just you got.
Wait, there it is.
Okay,
that was
there we
fucking
go.
bizarre as hell.
It heard my comment, so
my if you go to Tavarish's YouTube channel, I keyed my Fast and the Furious Lambo's paint job. Good SEO, bro.
Yeah.
For 487,000.
That's actually a really low amount for a video.
Excuse me.
No. I'm saying like if you look at other videos.
Yeah.
Probably.
I know the one where you cry is 800K.
Crying on camera does a lot.
Crying is good.
Yeah.
You know what? I found a new strategy.
You just cry all the time?
Yes, all the time. That's for a different reason. No, I have a new strategy, which is when I do like my host mention ads, like, hey guys, look at this, thing.
Yeah.
I hold my cat.
Aw.
If you hold your cat, they sit through the ads.
Interesting. Hey guys, before we get to the video,
I'm just like this. I'm like, check out our new thing. And like, everyone's like, dude, the cats are keeping me. I'm just glued to the cat.
We're gonna have to start bringing in puppies, and
they're gonna start getting royalties.
Yeah.
They are getting royalties.
Always do ad reads with cats. Oh shit, 976,000 subscribers. You passed me. L'chaim.
Okay. Well, thank you.
L'chaim, sir.
Well,
I'm not hating.
What do you say after L'chaim? Do you say like L'chaim to you as well?
I mean, L'chaim is a toast in general. It's
I know.
Life.
It's like yeah.
You can say, I guess, thank you. It's really good.
Thank you.
Like I don't have the Hebrew answer to L'chaim. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My rabbi, it doesn't listen to this show. I don't have a rabbi.
Sure. I'm always down to know more about stuff I know nothing about.
I can see that. Like rebuilding Lamborghinis. Wait, but I want to get to that. But back to SEMA.
Sure. Okay.
So every year, right, it's like there's like a car of the show at least. So what was it? Well, there's way more of one thing than everything else.
I would say for a car it would have to be Supra. For a truck SUV it would have to be Gladiator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gladiators.
Yeah, I think I counted somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 Gladiators there.
Fucking hell.
Somewhere in the neighborhood.
150?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? That's
so many.
No,
Gladiators.
I mean, there are
kidding.
40 Supras there, so like Gladiators 150.
Did you go to the off-road area? The expo, not just off-road, but there's now an expedition, like an overlander section on top of that.
Which is weird that they put all the off-roader stuff on the second floor, which is like you put all the heaviest equipment on the second floor. I don't know if you really thought about this.
I'm not that into the off-road section, but I might have the overlanding section. Seems kind of fun.
The overlanding section was kind of neat because they had, I mean, that's where you get the tents on top of your truck, and then the in-house fridges, and I mean, now that you've got the Delica, it's
do you like that kind of stuff?
I like the idea of it.
I think everybody likes the idea of it. It's like a mall crawler. You know, like, listen, I need full four-wheel drive just in case.
No, no, I don't necessarily think that kind of thing, but like I like. I do think I know a lot of people who do go out and use that stuff,
right?
And they go fundamentally car camping in the middle of the woods and hiking with their dog or their baby. Like my friend Cameron Weiss, the guy, the watchmaker.
Watch guy, yeah.
He's pretty hardcore about it. He built his own Sprinter van. In fact, I think you'd probably have fun doing a project like this.
Of course.
And he built his own Sprinter. I mean, he bought a Sprinter, but he outfitted it himself. And he and his wife like live out of that thing probably like 50% of the time with 2 German Shepherds and a baby. So it's pretty hardcore.
This is something that you can only do when you have money. Yeah. Like this is not so. This is
or you live in Venice.
This might be a rich guy poor guy thing. Like either you're poor and like you have to live in your car, or you're rich and you live in your car.
Yeah. Definitely. He doesn't.
The middle class knows nothing about this.
I'm pretty sure Cameron earned his money making these watches, but but nevertheless, and his van is not a luxury vehicle by any means.
No, but I'm saying once you get to a certain level, once you have arrived, then you could be like, you know what? I don't need society. Like
that's when you go for those like Earth Roamer things. Have we seen those?
Yeah.
That's the rich guy, and then the other end of that is like near my house in Venice Beach. There's some pretty like ingenious,
vans.
Motorhome type of things.
I've seen those. They can't run, can they?
Well, they have to because the only real law governing that is the alternate side street cleaning. And so you have to move it for street cleaning, otherwise you'll get towed or whatever. So they do, most of them, like for those who have no idea what we're talking about, where I live, Venice, California, is the kind of place that is so nice that people want to come live there. Rich people want to come live there, and also homeless people want to come live there.
Again, rich guy, poor guy thing.
Same thing. Venice Beach. Same kind of
Why would you want to be homeless in Chicago in January when you go to Venice?
That sucks. It's cold.
I'm not suggesting anybody wants to be homeless, but I am suggesting that for people who have no choice but to be homeless, they find a way to be homeless in California.
Yeah, I mean,
it's mild.
If they can, it's probably better to be in a place like that.
And Venice, as a community, is also very, very lenient towards it. And so you see people literally pitching tents, which I'm hoping we figure out a way to sort that problem soon. But you also see a lot of like really decrepit RVs around. And,
I've seen them.
And so, but they do move, and you see them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays are alternating sides and moving up the road.
Okay, and then there's nothing you can do about that, right?
I mean,
let's say you make an addition to your house, right? That's just like a complete eyesore, and then you have like tarp on it, and they just never do anything about it.
Yeah, no, that would probably be a problem with somebody.
That would be a problem with the city. You get the city calls on you, but you can have an RV parked outside your house like indefinitely.
Yeah. No, that's
fine.
Yeah, that does suck. Yes, it does. There's, I mean, but we live in I live in a very dense neighborhood, so like, there's I don't know what to do about people with RVs. I personally think that they shouldn't allow RV parking on the streets because there's not much parking at all, and it's quite valuable. So I would ban RVs from the dense Venice area.
And the size of some of those RVs is pretty surprising. Like you literally just don't have room for them.
Yeah, there's some big ones.
The streets are kind of narrow.
I also personally vote every year to build the homeless shelter that does not get approved every year. The residents vote it down.
Why?
They always, because they're assholes. Because they're fucking liberals until it comes to fucking having something that might devalue their property by fucking 8 pennies.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, that's a big topic there, and it doesn't have anything to do with cars.
That's fine.
Really.
I'm just saying. Like you asked, what could I do about it?
Sure.
I vote for the thing that I think will help if it happens.
So
but I don't. Beyond that, I don't know what to do about it. I have no solution.
Again, I reiterate spike strips. So
citizens, just taking up arms. No.
Well,
overlanding at SEMA was big this year.
Yeah,
the Gladiator was fine. It was.
I think
I genuinely don't get the Gladiator. I don't. I mean, I get it, kinda, but like, why is it 30 feet long?
Have you driven one?
I haven't driven one.
You're going to drive one in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so.
you should drive it.
I've driven like the new Jeep.
So yeah,
that's why specifically Gladiator.
It's not. So nothing that Dodge or FCA makes will knock your socks off. It's not revolutionary. It's always like what we've made for the last 50 years. slightly modified.
Yeah.
So the Gladiator, I actually had one for a week because Tyler Hoover has one, and he just let me borrow it because he's a freaking awesome dude. And I was driving it around, and it drives very nicely for the type of tire that has. Doesn't have like as much tire noise as you think. It drives really well, and it definitely needs more power. Like if I had a supercharger on it, that would be like perfect, or like a V8 or something. Hellcat's like too much. That's
or 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, Vinny's getting this fucking 1,000 horsepower one.
Yeah, that's okay. Well,
it's never too much.
You know, dream big, right?
No, for me, like the concept, fine. The new Jeep, great. It just seems it's really long. Whenever I see them in parking lots or on the street, like they're super long.
They're okay. I think it's just because they're narrow. Like it's basically like an F-150. You know,
that's so long.
Yeah,
you live in LA, Matt.
Crazy
you
long?
live in LA. Most of America, F-150 is like a normal size car.
That's a problem, Freddy.
It's not, because we have lots of space.
F-150 is a full size truck. I mean, the Jeep, they wanted it to be functional with a 6-foot bed.
Yeah.
So that was like the kind of the minimum, because even on a Silverado, you get a short bed at 6 foot. So they wanted to be able to have a minimal, useful bed to be able to say, okay, well, it's a truck.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's functional. It is. The build quality is great. You know, it's a great driving, vehicle. And given the fact that, like, I'll give an honorable mention at SEMA to there was a lot of Rangers.
A lot
of Rangers,
yeah.
More than I expected. I think it's gonna be a big platform, especially if Bronco gets built off of that. And then
aren't they phasing those out like sometime soon? Just because it's been a world car for like the last.
Yeah, well, that's I think when the
Ranger's pretty old.
Yeah, but not for us.
No,
for
I know,
us,
but
like
I drove
new,
the one that's like a 2019, and it's like, wow, this feels like a 2010
I think when
Fusion.
That's basically what it is.
I think when they introduce Bronco, there's probably going to be some changes to the Ranger that comes along with that.
Yeah.
And then the Brodozer, of course, has to get an honorable mention too. I mean,
I didn't see any Brodozers at SEMA.
Not
at all.
No,
not at all.
no,
They're in short supply. I'm just kidding. They were everywhere.
Yeah, it was insane. F250, F350 on 30-inch wheels with a low profile 40-inch tire.
Stock brakes though, so that's good.
I like when you see that little drum in the back.
It looked like a little bottle cap.
But you had engraved ladder bars that were powder coated everything and stuff like that. So
brakes bridge too far. That's
they get overlooked a lot at SEMA.
There was I love these like Facebook groups about SEMA and like all these Bluetooth drive shafts, all that stuff, right? But there was a Corvette that was in the hall.
Just the term Bluetooth drive shaft is a very funny term. It's
hilarious. Yeah.
I haven't had that term before, and I heard Bozy use the other day. God, is that the funniest fucking term?
It is hilarious, isn't it? So there was a Corvette in the hall, and somebody looked in the brakes because they looked like really like scratched up, and turns out the pads were on backwards, so the metal backing pad was hitting against the rotor. So SEMA crunch, guys. SEMA crunch is real. How did you not notice when you pressed the brake and go?
It got pushed in.
It got pushed in.
Pushed out.
Yeah. With a winch.
They heard it squeak and they go, oh, these race brakes.
Yeah. Wow. Metal shavings all over the floor. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Wow.
So, but it was an interesting year this year. I mean, there was a big crowd. There was a lot of people there. I don't think anything earth-shatteringly like earth-changing for the industry, but I mean, as usual, really nice builds. I mean, amazing quality.
Right.
I didn't see. I had to be honest. I didn't go, but I looked at. I follow all the Instagram stuff. Like, I didn't really see anything that really blew me away.
Everything were
you guys fully blown away by anything?
Well, nothing. I mean, this is like the jaded journalist in me talking. It's like you don't really see anything that's going to blow you away, other than some things like really, really crazy, like some Hot Wheels car. Okay, well, you're never driving that down the street. That's just like some. I went to the Peterson yesterday, and like there's stuff that blew me away just because it's like, there's how can a human fit in here? Like that doesn't make any sense. But as far as blow me away, like I have an appreciation for what these builds actually take. Because like people like the Ring brothers, they do these things in like very short order for what a build like this would take time wise and money wise. So they're knocking these things out like in a year.
Ring brothers, Speed Core, those hardcore guys with those builds that are $500,000 plus. I mean, to look at the build quality of what they've built, knowing that the shops that it came out of, it's not. I mean, it's OEM quality stuff that's full custom.
I was just disappointed they built a Camaro. Honestly, I saw their Camaro. It's called Valkyria.
Valkyrie.
It's not Russian. Can you help us
out? No. It's not.
Wait, hang on. Let me get a picture of it. I'm being bad at pictures today.
If I was to guess, I mean, I'm guessing that they did that specifically because everybody's done a Camaro, and they said, you know what, we're going to show you what it can be done.
I think they also know their audience, because their audience, like the people that are buying cars for them, they want those cars.
I mean, you could look at that car for a day and not find all of the little details that they've added to it.
But like, I have to be honest, I drove their Camaro from like 2 years ago, and it's not that different.
No, it's going to be like I think
it's fucking hot looking.
I think driving dynamics wise, it's probably going to be the same as any pro touring build or whatever. But if you look at that, you can tell it's modified. You just can't really tell what. Like it's very hard to tell like what exactly they did.
I can tell what.
No. I'm saying like 100% of everything they did.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can tell that how.
No, they're super talented. I'm not like I know Jim and Mike. They're fucking great.
Why do you hate America, Matt?
I hate America. This is why I hate America, and I don't hate the Camaro. I just think, and obviously, look, and what Jim and Mike have told me before to my face is, even though a car is going to SEMA, it's still also going to a customer. And sometimes the customer wants certain things, and that's what we're building.
Yeah.
Like when they put the LS motor in that Pantera instead of using a Ford motor or whatever, she was like, he was just going, customer want an LS. Game over.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So, same kind of thing. But like, I just like, I like their work so much that I want to see that shit applied to some fucking bonanza, you know what I mean?
Like what would you do then?
What would I do? Like I would what would I like to see the Ring Brothers fuck with? Like I
Porsche 911
thought
or something?
their no. I think I thought that Pantera, which by the way, if you haven't noticed, is literally the desktop of the computer that we're using right now. Oh,
interesting.
This look.
Yeah.
There it is. It's right. It's on the fucking desktop.
Yep.
Oh no, don't ruin it.
Didn't Richard Rawlings buy that car?
Rawlings owns it. Yeah. Other than the Ring Brothers, Richard, he wasn't the original customer.
Yeah, he bought it.
Yeah,
in auction,
he bought it from however the paperwork swirled around, but he owns it now. I was the only other person to drive it ever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. It needed some fine tuning for the dynamics. It came like right off the trailer when I drove it.
Are you telling me a SEMA build wasn't exactly dialed in?
It wasn't. It would have been fine if we didn't also. The other half of this photo is this amazing stock, perfectly restored Pantera, which was so good.
How stock was it? Was it like stock?
Restored to perfectly stock.
Okay, so I mean that cooling system.
It was fine.
Okay, well,
I didn't sit in a traffic jam with it. I drove it up and down a mountain road a bunch of times.
They're known to not be great.
But, I mean, I don't know who, but just dynamically, it was so great. But they're. I want to see them do like an Alfa Romeo GTV or like a Volvo fucking 240, like a Ring Brothers Volvo 240 would be the shit.
Sure, but nobody at Jalopnik is gonna commission a Ring Brothers build, right? So
of course.
it's like,
somebody could commission a Ring Brothers like Lancia Delta or a Ring Brothers like
maybe. I think it's a little too new because this is $500,000.
Yeah,
nobody with that kind of money is like under 60. Like,
oh come on,
yeah.
Look around us, brother.
No. But they're not buying cars like this. They're buying 720Ss with their daddy's money. So it's like
maybe
they're buying the newest and greatest. They're not buying because they don't have nostalgia for this kind of stuff.
Maybe.
So the people that are like our age, they aspired to do this, but like it's very, very, very rare for them to have any sort of money. But later on, I'd say in 10 to 15 years, you're gonna see a Ring Brothers-esque type build on cars like that, on like a Supra and stuff like that. Yeah,
you can't lease a Ring Brothers car, so how do they expect to own it?
Well, yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You must pay cash for this.
You can lease a 720.
Really? You must pay cash. You probably must pay cash up front for something like this. That's an expensive car. But
so how much per month is this?
maybe even we can go back to the 60s. Like, you know what I've never seen Ring Brothers fuck with? Like a late 50s Vet. Or like a Ring Brothers Corvette would be the coolest.
Yeah.
They did that. Remember they did the
Caddy. Didn't they do the Caddy with the CTSV? Wasn't that them?
Oh yeah, the Caddy.
The full CTSV drivetrain interior.
And they did was it an AMX or a Javelin? The Javelin was like the Javelin. Have you seen the Javelin?
Yeah.
The Javelin was bananas.
Yeah. So I mean, they are very, and shops like them as well.
This Javelin is I mean, depending on who you ask, it's
Rad Rides by Troy. Those guys.
There's people who might call this thing heinous looking. I think it has really excellent elements and some really kind of wonky ones. I was supposed to drive it. Literally, I go. It was not being handled by the Ring Brothers. It was being handled by their PR company. And they go, we're going to bring it out to you to drive. And I gave them. I dropped a pin in the canyons. And I go, you're going to meet me here with the car. And they go, okay, cool. I go, here. I have one rule. Don't bring your fucking trailer. Leave the trailer at the bottom of the hill and then drive the car up the hill.
Right.
As I arrive to the site, I see the trailer there and 2 cop cars behind the trailer.
Okay.
And I didn't even stop. I just kept I just kept going like I didn't even stop. So I wish I could tell you how this thing drove. I hear it was great, but I never got a chance. But seeing this R badge,
do you just not like trailers?
I don't like the heat that a trailer brings. You don't bring a trailer to the canyons and unload a car. It just brings so much heat.
When you say heat,
the cops.
So they didn't bring their own cops.
No. They didn't bring cops. The cops were there to shut us down because they thought we were having a professional grade shoot without a permit in the canyons.
Oh.
Because I film without permits.
Okay, so
because permits are cost prohibitive.
Sometimes,
right. Allegedly. Except for the fact that there are literally RVs just parked indefinitely everywhere, and they can cite every single one of them. But
you don't. But film something.
You,
in Los
Mr.
Angeles.
Farrow, with your show,
bro, you got to pay the piper. You want to film in Los Angeles.
You're the menace to society.
In fairness, there's only. I've done this for so long. There's only 2 conditions that would cause a cop to give you shit about filming in the canyons. One is a trailer. The other is a tripod.
Yep.
When a cop sees a tripod, in the cop's mind, you are a professional. It's amazing what we've done and been seen doing without. My sunglasses are still in my head. Without tripods. But you just got a guy on the side of the road with a tripod, and the cop will lose his mind.
So what if you're just doing this for your personal YouTube channel?
I mean, you could talk your way out of it. They're not going to arrest you.
Yeah.
But they're going to stop.
But they're going to stop you, and it's going to be a problem. And they're going to sit there until you pack up and leave.
But can you be arrested for that?
No, but you can be ticketed and fined. You can be fined. And if the cop really wanted to be a dick, they could maybe take your memory cards. Maybe. I mean, maybe. It's never happened to me, but maybe.
All right. Well, I don't know the legality of that.
Dude,
remember, in California, it's all permits.
This has never happened to me. Outside of the greater LA area, this is not a problem. It's just here.
Listen, gators and meth are sounding better and better for me.
No, look, we got fucking 200 miles of desert in 3 directions, and there are no laws out there.
Okay,
so it's a short drive away.
I've been out to Johnson Valley. It's nuts.
It's a real short, and even if so, we got Nevada, and Nevada's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nevada, there's a lot of freedom in Nevada.
Nevada's the West Coast Florida.
It definitely is. I drove through there. It was cool.
But seeing the shape of this Javelin and that little R badge in the front, how about like an early Skyline?
Yeah, that looks like a Skyline. Yeah. But
Ring Brothers' early Skyline would be the coolest.
I don't like the red R badge because it reminds me of all the Honda Civics that went to AutoZone and then just put the little R badge, Type R or
I have to be honest, I do not disagree. The Type R badge and
it's a little superfluous.
Yep. But even though it means Ring Brothers,
I don't know if it was that prominent on the Camaro. I think they dialed it back a little bit on the Camaro.
I wonder if they got a little feedback.
Yeah,
maybe it was like, hey, maybe
guys,
maybe change the color or something because this is looking real bad. Like,
was there anything at SEMA that you saw that was an absolute just disaster?
So, what I've learned from doing this and being a sort of public figure for a little bit is that you can never be rude to anybody because that person is probably going to watch at some point and then they're going to go, hey, this guy said something about you. I'm not going to call out anything. There's plenty of, like unfinished projects that went down at SEMA. There's plenty of stuff that like I would have literally would have been embarrassed if I brought that to the show. But it's like, there's a market for everybody. So if they want to go to that company and then have that company sign off on it and say, hey, this is the best that we can do, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot like, there's a lot of
questionable wraps and paint choices and other things, but
like wrap companies having like the edges are like completely gone and they're peeling apart. Like,
see,
really,
I have an issue with SEMA for the quality. Like, if your wraps edges aren't quite right and stuff like that. Like, I brought Tennis came out on Friday and my girlfriend and she had never been to SEMA either, and she's not in the industry like we are, but she's an enthusiast and she likes cars. She could appreciate them, and she was questioning everything. She's like, why would they bring that? And I'm, and you have to, like, in the world of SEMA, it is so difficult to stand out in a crowd. So difficult. So sometimes you have to bring a somewhat train wreck just to get noticed, but it better be on point as far as build quality, because you can have an ass choice of fucking paint, but if the quality's there, then I'm going to give you credit for it and say, look, I can tell how much work went into this. And like the bro dozers, look, not my style. Some of the ladder bars and some of the suspension work and the intricate. I mean, like, I saw hand engraved wheels from American Force.
Yeah. I like seeing the lowrider shit is awesome. Those guys rule.
I mean, so like some of this stuff, like, as long as it may not be, it may be a little questionable as far as taste, but like I said, if you're going to bring it to SEMA and the quality's there, then I'm going to give you and your shop props for that.
And it all depends on what the car is built for. Obviously, you're not going to have the same kind of quality issue with like a race car,
right?
If a race car is going there, like, this is meant for, like, it has a purpose. But if it's like a show car, it's like, all right, we're debuting something, and like, all right, this looks like crap.
I've seen some real disasters at SEMA before. Like, just like where you go, I cannot believe somebody looked at this and went, yes, it's ready.
I totally get that. But on the other hand, I know what it's like to be on that time crunch, and it's like, you have to make decisions where, like, either this gets done to like perfect quality or it's not going. Yeah. Like it's just, we have to.
So what did you leave on your car?
So here's what I
door struts.
Yeah. Well, no, we should preface it.
Half
So
of the cylinders didn't run.
Yeah, no. So tell me about the car you bought and you brought back to life.
So I bought a 2003 Lamborghini Murcielago from the last...
Correct pronunciation. That's very nice.
Murcielago, yes. From the last Fast and Furious movie, The Fate of the Furious. Tyrese drove it. It was the hero car. I bought it from Dennis McCarthy in Vehicle Effects here in Sun Valley, Sun Valley, California. I bought it in January from a tip from Ed Bolian, Mr. Vin Wiki. And then from there, I drove it back. I didn't drive it. I towed it back from L.A. to Florida and proceeded to work on it for the next 9-10 months, where, not just me, just a lot of different companies. We had a paint shop. We had an interior shop. Again, that aforementioned Clarity Coat. And it's been a huge help to the channel, and also I know what it's like to build a show car now, which is nuts, which is something I don't really want to do, but I'm probably going to end up doing anyway.
So movie cars, even hero movie cars, are generally treated like garbage.
They are so beat. So I went to the Peterson yesterday, so I can see like what the hero movie cars were. So I saw the Too Fast Too Furious Suzuki S2000.
That thing's a little...
That thing is bad. Like, that thing is wow.
The Fast and Furious 1 cars they're the worst. Actually, because they never thought they were gonna make another one of those things.
Yeah, there are no good like movie cars that like made it. I think the Fast and Furious 1 cars were good cars in the beginning. Yeah. And then they kind of like modified them and Craig Lieberman.
Like, Craig's car was a good car. And I think it remained an okay car. I think it didn't get too fucked up because they bought a few others to really fuck up.
Well, they also didn't know where the movie was going. So they're like, we're renting cars. And I think they rented them and then they paid to have them like painted and then repainted back.
They did. Oh, and they also, Craig gave me once, and I wish I still had it. I gave it to somebody else and never got it back. He had the original list of all the cars and then what was damaged and what the bill was. And it was a crazy amount of money they were paying to owners.
It might be on his channel.
It probably is.
He's actually built a pretty good channel. I think he has like a decent amount of subscribers.
I'm sure he does. Yeah,
I watch his stuff all the time.
Craig basically is professional Fast and the Furious car trivia now. That's his gig.
That's
because he used to do car shit, and then he like left car stuff to do like a corporate gig for a while. Yeah, and I think he slowly went insane and needed a way back into doing car stuff. I should get him back in the podcast, but he deals with. I read the comments on his fucking Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I think the dumbest part of car Instagram is in his comment section. it's really bad.
Perhaps.
Every single fucking he replies to everyone that goes, I literally answered this in the video I'm promoting.
Yeah,
I literally answered this in the video.
No. So he needs to. Well, what he needs to do. I think Joe Rogan says this. Like, just post and drop. Like post, put the phone down,
and
like
then leave.
Yeah.
Rogan is an expert at that.
Yeah.
I'm going on Joe Rogan December 3rd. Self promotion.
Awesome. Definitely see you there.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So this particular hero car, how fucked was it when you got it?
So the paintwork was it was painted in a parking lot in Iceland. So yeah, it was bad. It had no interior, it had a roll cage in it, no rear window. The side windows that are supposed to go up and down didn't because they were held up with pieces of wood. It had a shifter that was broken off and welded back at a pretty extreme angle. The clutch was not in great shape. The engine was not running well. It had a really crappy exhaust. It sounded like two angry 350Zs. And
I remember you started it for me. That exhaust was
obnoxious,
fucking horrid.
Yeah.
It was really.
I don't know
bad.
how you make that engine sound that bad, but they did it.
They really had done some number on ruining the sound of that car. I don't know where that thing came from, but
so
what a pile of shit.
They had to overdub like another car onto it because it's like it did not sound like I know what my car sounds like. It sounds like the movie now.
Yeah.
Because I went through a lot of work to make it sound like that.
Yeah. Fab Speed made a titanium exhaust, right?
No, I think it's stainless steel. But it's their own design. It has these really cool resonators. And it sounds like an old F1 car. I mean, you heard it in the...
It does. In the canyons. You were behind me in the tunnel, and it sounded fucking glorious.
Yeah, it's
shout out to Fab Speed, by the way. I've been talking to them, because after I saw your post with them, I hit them up, and I was like, listen... There's no market for Countach exhausts, but it
doesn't matter. But there's a market for other cars.
Yeah, so but would you be interested in making one? And now that I have a plastic bag melted all over my exhaust, I think it's time.
You can make that car. Have you heard heard that YouTube video of the Kreisig or whatever?
Kreisig. Yeah, Kreisig. Kreisig is a company no one ever talks about. They make the best exhaust ever for the Ferrari 430. It's the only exhaust that makes that car sound truly great.
Yeah. They do. But their exhausts are also like $12,000.
Right.
They're very, very expensive.
What are they made of?
You get what you pay
it's either stainless steel or titanium. So yeah, I'm guessing for that it's probably titanium.
Kressig.
Oh, it's like Koenigsegg. It's like there's a bunch of S's and G's and I's. I
gotta find it.
Is there an exclamation point in there?
Yeah, there's asterisks and umlauts.
There must be a way. This is it, right? Lamborghini Countach with Kressig exhaust. Yeah. It sounds because my car has a real kind of like. Sort of lower
lower register.
It's a little more gruff.
So that and the Diablo have a very similar sound, and also the stock Mercy. So the stock Mercy, it didn't really sound all that great, and even like the stock Aventador had like somewhat of a like high pitch, but it wasn't really that great, and until you put another exhaust on there, and then it can like really howl.
Oh, this is it. It's 28 seconds.
Are you gonna get taken off YouTube?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so that's much higher pitched than mine.
Yeah.
Here's a flyby. I'm just playing the audio. I'm not showing the video. But here comes the flyby.
I'm literally getting chills.
Well, that certainly sounds different from mine.
So that sounds similar to what my car sounds like. It like reverberates off the walls.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Your car does sound like that. Yeah.
So I mean,
maybe Fab Speed. If you can make my car sound like Freddy's car, which is what this car sounded like.
Yeah.
Well, that would be nice.
It's basically the same engine. Like it's they've been making the same engine since the '60s. Theoretically, you can make every Lamborghini ever made sound like that.
I know.
And a couple of Audis.
The new ones too. I mean, that's pretty much what an Aventador sounds like out of the box too.
But the Aventador has it's a different engine, so it has a little bit of a different tone, like a different
the
voice.
Firing order? I mean, the displacement's a little bigger, but
the displacement's the same actually. It's
Isn't
a 6.5. Yeah. So
is yours a 6.5?
Mine's a 6.2. So LP640 got a 6.5 and 670 got a 6.5.
Right. Okay.
But then they went to 6.5 new design. I don't know if the firing order is the same. It probably is, but I know that they have different stuff like variable valve timing and cam timing.
There's a lot of different stuff on the top half of the motor that's much different.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's different compression ratio. Yeah. It's direct injection, I think.
Yeah,
it is direct injection.
On the later ones, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of research on the Aventador last night. I was just like geeking out on Aventador stuff, and honestly, there's not like other than the Stradman, which who's James in Colorado. He bought one. And he's doing all this like he's a vlogger. Mm-hmm. There's not a ton of Aventador content other than like the car spotters and like Shmi's video.
Well, I guess they're really expensive, and I think
but what I mean is like. There's more content on like Ferraris and like other Lambos. There's a ton of Huracan content, you know. Or if you want to get like Senna content, there's so much of it, and that car's $1 million, you know. Or like 4GT and stuff like that. So
not as much as Aventador, huh?
Yeah,
you got to hit up Dr. M3. What's his? He does a lot of Aventador content.
Yeah. You know, it's weird. Like you see these channels, and like you look at their view counts, and like they should be getting more view. Like their stuff is good.
I think my second most viewed video of all time has an Aventador in it.
Yeah,
it's the Countach Aventador.
Oh yeah,
video,
so I was watching that last night.
I know.
So I got one. You got one more view.
Yes,
and you're driving your Countach now, right?
I know.
Yes,
isn't that cool?
Because you were talking about like, oh, it's owned by Albertoni, like. Yeah, okay, well, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Aventador thing is what I'm really interested in because I would like to perhaps do an Aventador next year. Maybe.
What would you do with it?
Try to do a manual swap.
How do you do that?
I don't know. No. Okay. So
conceptually, how would you do that?
So conceptually, you'd have to remake the center console because it's like this waterfall that obviously goes in the place of the shifter.
I'll get a picture of what it looks like.
It's like this huge ungainly mass in the center of the car.
Yeah.
But one thing that's the hardest thing about that car to do is the fact that the engine layout is unlike any other car made today. So the engine is in the back, the transmission is in front of the engine, basically next to you in the passenger compartment, but then that goes through a drive shaft to both front and rear differentials. So it's more like, I don't know, it's more like a trophy truck.
Yeah. It is. Or a monster truck.
Yeah,
actually.
or a monster truck. So like the engine's mounted backwards, right?
Because it has to go through a transfer case, and then it's got to go through all the different differentials and everything else. So
so you see that huge like big hump.
Yeah,
that would have to be remade. So maybe.
But that hump, there's a lot of shit that you kind of need on here.
Oh no, you'd retain like most of that stuff. So those buttons on the bottom, that's for but below that.
Down at the very, very bottom here.
So that can go completely because that's reverse and manual mode.
Okay.
So you can relocate all the other buttons, like because that's like for infotainment.
Stereo, power. You don't get into power windows until the very top row.
Right.
Yeah. Those are kind of the essentials. The other ones are HVAC and radio.
Yeah. So if you just like basically, if you can visualize this, kind of split that down the middle. So now you have one plane that's just flat, and then another one that's like kind of
right.
vertical.
Okay. So if you cut it horizontally in front of the starter button and then sort of lay that panel flat and then push the other panel away.
Because the only thing that's in there is that CD player that it has. So it has like a CD player, like I don't know if it's navigation.
It's for the navigation system.
Yeah. So which I will be fine without. I think I'll live if I don't have that. But I think the main concern of mine is that I would probably use a Murcielago transmission with a gated shifter, and I'm worried about the shifter placement because it's a physical linkage to the shifter.
Right.
If you were doing like a Gallardo, then there's just a link, like cables. Yeah. So you can lengthen cables, you can put them anywhere. But with this, there's a physical linkage down to the transmission. So that transmission is connected to the engine. So if that engine might have to move or not, like there's a lot.
Well, beyond that, can you make this car run on a manual gearbox correctly? Do you just like confuse the engine to think it's in neutral all the time?
So there's an easy way to do it. which is just to get the car running. So you can just you can use something called a can sniffer. You just plug it into the OBD2, and it looks at all the different codes. Like there's can lines inside the OBD2. So you look at the lines of code, and then you have to decode every single one. So let's say you turn on a turn signal, and then that gives you a little blip. You go, okay, so that's turn signal. So I know that that's not it. And then like if you go, I'm putting it into drive, and then the thing lights up. Like, okay, so I need to replicate this. So you could just write up like a few lines of code that tells the computer that, okay, the car's in neutral. It's always going to be in neutral. However, the car might not, like, you never think about this, but the car might not do things in neutral that you want it to do. It might not actually drive and do like, proper, like its load, and like it might not know a lot of things about itself. So
there's a lot of computers in this car,
right? But you'd be surprised at how little the computers actually talk to one another. So
if you eliminate entire systems, you might not affect other ones.
Yes. So I know the engine ECU is separate from the TCU, which is good because you can often eliminate that. So the engine ECU, other than going maybe standalone, which is definitely like I could do that, just get a standalone engine computer. But I want to have this as a something that I could do and maybe sell to other people if they want to do an Aventador manual. I don't know if the market's probably not going to be great for that.
It's probably a thin market for that.
But if it drives okay,
I mean, if you're trying to sell 3, okay. If you're trying to sell 50, I don't know.
No, well, here's the thing. You don't know, like, if it drives okay and it doesn't have any nasty check engine lights and all this stuff, like if you figure all that stuff out, I think it'll probably do well. I don't think this is not a money making thing for me, obviously. But I'd rather have this be like, it could be like an open source thing. I'll be like, hey, I'll give you the schematics and like I can give you the CAD files and you can make it yourself. But
what does a Mercy manual gearbox cost?
I don't know, but I know who has one.
Does Ed Bullion have one sitting around?
Yes, Ed Bullion has one, and he's not doing anything with it. And guess what? It's mine. So
is it a manual or is it
manual? Yeah.
Wait, question, Vinny. Do manual and automatic Mercies have the same physical gearbox, just with the?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like my Vanquish.
It's all e-gear. Well, like all the stuff is all done e-gear style.
Right.
With them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, they spared all expenses.
Yeah, wait, no, that's an interesting point. So you literally, most people, even if it was kind of crappy, when they got it, wouldn't just tear apart a Lamborghini in their garage. No. Obviously, you have more than the average person's skill and more than the average person's garage. But
well, I appreciate that.
What did you find when you took the car apart, just in terms of the things that weren't fucked from the movie, but that were just Lamborghini things?
So what's interesting about this is like it's so different than the Audi Lamborghini. So Audi took over Lamborghini in, I want to say like 2000.
The 01 Diablo
had
was the 6.0 was the Audified Diablo,
but not really.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it was improved in general.
Somewhat.
Audi didn't really take over until Aventador.
Right, but it's generally accepted that Audi's influence improved the Diablo, but even if that's not entirely true.
But yeah, they might have written down some memos or something, but they didn't
Audi's
cars.
engineers were, the Diablo was already there. Audis engineers cleaned it up a little bit. The Aventador was the first blank slate combination Audi, because even the Gallardo was still
the big one.
Italian.
I mean, Audi was a big part of Gallardo.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when I took apart my Gallardo, it was like it was just taking apart a regular car. So I was like, okay, well, things fit here. There's bolts that go in here. That's fine. It's just a little more expensive. So that was fine.
So like parts are expensive, but like if you could work on cars, you could probably work on that car.
Yeah. And in a lot of cases, it's easier because with a Gallardo, you have a lot of room. It's basically an engine with like a rigid frame around it. It's like a skateboard with a big engine in it. And it was pretty easy. I took the engine out in like 2.5 hours. Like it was nothing. But the Mercy's a little different because the Mercy is handmade. And I went to what is it? Like How It's Made or whatever. Like I watched that show, and they did a thing on the Mercy, like LP640 or LP670. And what's interesting is that the Gallardo was on an assembly line. Yeah. So like everything's robotic. Like they have some people doing some hand-built stuff, but the Mercy is like a handful of people pushing it across like the floor. You have these old ladies like beating leather into submission, trying to get over the dash. They're like grunting, sweating. You see like
this is how they made Countashes too.
Oh yeah,
exactly. So like the welders are like welding the frame, and like they have a little hammer. Tick, 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 tick.
I was laughing because I mentioned him. I was like, "Did you get it to the point where you got to the subframe and see what the quality of the welds are like?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, it looks like a small like." I told him it looks like a small Guatemalan children welded the frame together.
Yeah, I was like, I could do better than that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you think this car is so like unobtainium. Like, wow, it's so beautiful, and look at the lines, and it's great. Like they do really good styling. But then once you like rip off that styling, like, oh, this is like scaffolding. Like this is literally like that's why the car weighs 4,000 pounds.
Yeah,
it's all made of steel. Box section. Okay.
Yeah, my car is scaffolding too, but it was a little more accepted when they did it in my car.
So the Countach has a lot in common with the Mercy. Like the way they made it is almost exactly the same. Like I think that the only thing that they had different was maybe like the technology in the radio.
Yeah.
But like everything else was
automatic climate control.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
basically it.
Which is out of a Rover 45.
Is it?
Yes.
Nice.
Because I had some warning some warning code on my climate control. And then I said, okay, Lamborghini cannot. They didn't make this climate control because it's in the Zonda. And
it's in the Zonda.
And I'm like, Zonda, that's a parts bin special. Like that entire car is a parts bin special. So then I started looking at it, and I did like a reverse Google image search, and I saw like a Rover. And there's like a Rover forum. So I just went on the Rover forums, and then like they had all the information. They had the wiring diagrams. I'm like, okay, well there you go.
Perfect.
That's how you do it.
It's amazing.
So never ever pay for a Lamborghini climate control. It's a complete ripoff. You can get it with $20.
Did I tell you the just the little knob that turns on the air conditioning compressor in my car? The plastic bullshit knob, like it's like one of those like half circle deals.
and it broke,
it's
right?
fucking brittle, and it broke the thing.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a new knob, and Lamborghini wants like $400, for the fucking thing.
Of course they do. Yeah.
And then Eric at GTO Engineering mentions that it's actually from like a commercial refrigeration unit.
Yeah.
And it's shared with the 308 and the Alfa Giulietta as well. So
it's just like that information is so valuable because when I went to the Peterson, I saw all these movie cars, and they have like whenever it's futuristic, so they have like a bunch of hoses and stuff connected to it, and we're looking at it, it's like, all right, that's an evap hose.
Yeah.
Like that's a MAF. That's like they literally just went to the junkyard and got all this stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to recreate that, now it's a chore.
Yeah.
Now, like if you wanted to make a Back to the Future DeLorean, like really, really good one.
Did you see the documentary with Joe?
So Out of Time?
Yeah.
It's
crazy, right?
It's very good. Yeah. So
and then how nice does the car look? Did you see it?
Yeah. Oh, it's the A car is awesome.
Incredible.
It's awesome.
It's the only nice movie car ever.
So I have a friend, Bob Mosley. I don't know if he's right. Yeah. So Video Bob. And he came by my shop.
AKA King Nerd.
Yeah.
He's the kingest of the king nerds.
Yes. So he came by my shop in Florida because he was doing a deal with Universal. They wanted him to build a car for them. And he built like the most like authentic replica. It didn't drive or anything, but it made all the sounds. It was like from the second movie, like end of first movie, second movie, so it had the Mr. Fusion on it. But this car was like done. Like it was to the gills, everything. But he was telling me that like there are some parts that are like you have to go to an airplane graveyard. And what he did was like, okay, those are the fittings I need. Give me all of them, like all of them. So he didn't make a ton of friends in the community because like they're like, oh well, where can we get these? You're like, well, there are none, so I have them all.
You can get them from me for $300.
Yeah, exactly, because he has a business making these things.
Yeah.
So people are they kind of got a little. They
don't knock Video Bob's hustle. I like his hustle.
No, he is a great dude. I did a podcast with him and Freddy.
Really?
Yeah. He was a really cool guy.
I had Joe Walzer who restored the A car on this show. And
awesome.
It was crazy. I mean, what he was talking about, how hard it was.
They were volunteers too, right?
It's all volunteers.
That's nuts.
All
like
volunteers. It was thousands and thousands of hours.
I was watching that. Well, for those of you who don't know, it's a documentary called Out of Time. It's actually on Amazon Prime right now.
Oh yeah, definitely watch it if you're a king nerd like me.
Yeah, and it's not that long. I think it's like an hour and change. It's barely feature length.
It's called At a Time, Saving the DeLorean Time Machine.
Yeah, and it's very well done. And it tells you like the story of how these people, they just had a love for the movie, and then you can tell how they kind of got in over their head a little bit.
Which we've all done.
Yeah, and
oh my god, this fucking website looks like the Heaven's Gate cult website. It's like still up from 97.
Does it say GeoCities on the bottom?
I fucking lost.
Powered by Angel Fire or something? Zanga?
Best viewed on Netscape.
Netscape Navigator.
The DeLorean people, the Back to the Future people are so sweet. I've got a signed flux capacitor signed by Bob Gale at my house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I'm a huge nerd.
Bob Gale's the writer of the...
He wrote Back to the Future, and
series, yeah.
He couldn't have been less impressed with my flux capacitor.
Oh yeah.
He's another one of these.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that guy? Like how much he's getting? Back to the Future culture just like rammed down his throat.
I'd be over this by now. He seems to. No, I'm joking. He seems to enjoy doing a couple of rituals a year for Back to the Future.
Well, it's interesting because that's a movie, and I don't want to get onto the Back to the Future kick, but I've
fucking please do. We're in my wheelhouse,
right?
Son.
No, I've gone on like these benders where all I want to do is ingest Back to the Future content.
I completely understand.
I watched all of the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the documentary of this guy called Aficionado on YouTube, and he made these really good kind of like mini docu-series, and he looks at the movie cars. So there's a guy that bought the car from the third movie from Back to the Future 3.
The guy you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's him.
He
and
has
his
the
son.
truck too.
He has
the Toyota truck.
Yeah, which was found in Mexico, and it was like drug running and stuff. And then
he's got the three car with the 50s wheels on it.
Yeah, but that was a dune buggy. Like it was made a dune buggy because it had to go over like off road, and it had a Volkswagen engine in it.
That's hilarious.
And it runs like absolute garbage.
I think it just gets pulled in and out of his garage.
Yeah. And it was that was the only one that went into private hands at an auction, and it went for like $500,000. Wow. So that's how much he paid for it.
And then I think he also has either a video Bob or someone built him a very good replica also.
So I think that's how he started.
Yeah.
And then he said he wanted like a real one.
Yeah.
Having
the 3-1 that's a weird one.
Yeah.
The 50s wheels and the shit on the hood.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in what used to be my office / Studio B over there, I have every variant models. I have every possible variant of the Back to the Future DeLoreans in there, including the train wheels one.
So what are your what's your opinion on like mashups of stuff? Because I'll tell you where I'm going with this. So a friend of mine, now a friend of mine, a YouTuber that I've met. He got a Lamborghini Diablo kit car basically for free, and he made a few videos on it. They did kind of well, but I think it's a little bit more of a project that he wants to take on. It's not really his wheelhouse. So I was thinking, I don't want to get a Diablo kit, and it's not like a Fiero base or anything. It's like it's like a tube frame. Tube frame. Like this guy, it was like this guy's life work, and I think the guy like passed away, or like he just like something happened where he just got rid of it. But it's like a really well done kit. However, the last thing I want to do is fool people into thinking that I have a real Lamborghini when I don't. So I was thinking, what if I made a Diablo time machine? What if I made something that was like, have you seen those like reimagining of like Kaiser Salim? He did a Pantera with like all this stuff, or like a McLaren F1 or something with all the time machine stuff, kind of like a retro futurish cyberpunk type thing.
A fake Diablo into a time machine. Now that's interesting.
Yeah, because all the visual cues are sort of there. You have, like it's very visually striking. And it's not something that people would get. Like, there's no purists that are going to be like, oh, well, he's just doing something. Like, I'm not.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, and
you just want a junkyard dive in airplane graveyards.
Actually,
have you been to the place here? What's the fucking place? There's like a vintage. There's like a graveyard for that type of shit.
Oh, really?
For like electrics and steampunk stuff. And it's where almost all the time machine stuff came from.
Well, I mean,
it's a very famous place, like in North Hollywood. I can look up the name, but it's really well known.
Yeah, that'd be
and
cool.
for that kind of stuff, like that's where you go. And for anyone who wants to build like low budget sci-fi shit, like it's all from there.
So you would do a Back to the Future DeLorean mashup into Diablo.
Yeah. So just like imagine if we're talking about like cosplay, how a lot of cosplayers they put two of their favorite characters together and whatever and make something cool. This would be like car cosplay.
The place is called Apex Surplus. Oh yeah, yes, we are definitely leaving Yelp. Thank you. This is what it's called.
That's also the website that Time forgot.
Exactly. Well, this a good business doesn't need to update their fucking website.
That's true.
So you can store gallery, but this place is crazy. It's just rack after rack after rack after rack.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Of stuff that looks like sci-fi.
I'm not sure you should be allowed in there.
You could have a field day in
I
this
feel like I don't have
motherfucker.
enough baggage for this because I need to bring all of that home. That's
Look at the buttons.
Look at the buttons. I
That
just
is
want the
so
big red button for something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna don't press the red button. Then just press
Here's
it.
a panel that says uninterruptible power supply status.
Yeah.
This is the Apex Supplies. John Ward from Icon was down here talking about this, saying it's like the greatest.
This seems like a very Adam Savage thing to like.
1,000%. They had Mythbusters going to this place.
Yeah. There's a place by me that it's I actually got some Lambo parts there. It's a aircraft salvage yard.
Nice.
And I got some ducting because the ducting for a Lamborghini costs $300 and aircraft ducting costs $20.
And it's the same.
It's the same thing.
That's hilarious.
It's the same. It's actually aircraft is actually a little better because it's made for aircraft.
That's very funny.
Another thing on my Lambo is like there's a duct that goes from the alternator to the vent, right? To like the big grill on the side of the car. Now my car didn't have that. I don't know why. I think I don't know. It was just missing. So I figured this out like a week before I had to finish the car. And I'm like, there's no way I can get this part or it's going to be crazy expensive. So what I did was I saw that it basically looked like an attachment for a wet dry vac. So that's what I used. So there's an attachment for a wet dry vac on my car acting as a alternator duct. And it works perfectly fine.
And it works?
Yeah, it works perfectly fine. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I made a little bracket for it, bolted it on and stuff. But yeah, it works.
Do you ever plan to get that correct part? Or are you just going to leave that?
So I might, depending on what I do with the car, if I'm going to be selling it or something, and I have been talking with like Barrett Jackson about it.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll do like the OEM stuff, but it really doesn't need it. It's really like, first of all, nobody's going to know because it's behind the thing, and also it's kind of a a cool thing. It's like it's within the ethos of like the movie car thing.
Yeah.
But it's also it's rigid. Like it wasn't like slapped together. Like I did it right.
Look, in some cases, the materials that you're going to find today at Home Depot are going to be better than what they used in 2000
Italy,
whatever in Italy.
Yeah.
So so if you can upgrade some of that stuff, then you definitely should.
So last thing, and then I'm going to go into the super chat. We're going to go to the audience for a bit, and thank you for participating in super chat. By the way,
no problem.
All those many times. Sometimes you fucking just give us money and don't even have anything to say.
I like to support my friends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now that it's done, and you put all this time and money and sponsor money and all this other bullshit, do you actually enjoy driving it? Do you enjoy the experience? Because you drove it here from Vegas.
Yeah.
We went to the canyons.
Well, actually, I didn't drive it here from Vegas. I drove with Damon from DDE.
Oh.
And he drove it, so we kind of swapped cars, and we're doing like a video on that. But I drove it like around Florida, just to, like for a little shakedown run. And the first time I actually drove it, was with you yesterday. So that's
wow.
Yeah.
You didn't crash.
I didn't crash.
Did you enjoy it?
It was very enjoyable. It was very nice.
Really?
Yeah. It was very nice, and so it doesn't drive like a modern car. So a modern supercar would be like a McLaren or something, where you just feel like you are in control 100% of the time, and there's no speed at which you can't, make that corner. There are speeds in which you can't make corners in this car.
Totally true.
And it drives like the steering is very light. It actually gets a little heavier as you get on it. So that's fine. It rotates fine. But the front tires are 225s. The rear tires are 325s. I got them a little undersized because I have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. They are a little bit girthy. So you typically want to get like 10 or 20 millimeters less, and they'll be like the right size.
Okay.
But it does understeer a little bit.
That's okay. They all do that.
Yeah, but mine is rear-wheel drive, so you just get.
That's right. You took the front diff out.
Yeah,
that's gonna make that worse.
So it does initially, right? But I learned that if you give it more power and you kind of like. You've driven like a Porsche, 911 Turbo. It's weird that like if you huck it into a turn and then floor the throttle, you'd think that you would just pendulum out of control, but you don't. You actually grip more.
Yeah, but I think that the weight out of the front makes it a lot less stable.
So I also lower the front a little bit just to mitigate that a bit.
If you like it, your car.
No, it's fine. You should drive it. I mean, you should drive it.
I know too many guys over the years with Mercies and that have taken done the 2-wheel drive because I want to do donuts in the car and
oh no, I'm not doing donuts,
well, I'm just saying, but for whatever reason they want to do it, they think it's going to be faster because there's less weight on the front end or whatever, and it's generally you push it and it
oh yeah
well.
so the car
do they end up putting the cars back, Vin?
Yeah, I mean some of them if they haven't crashed them to the point where they've
totaled. Crashed them.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So the Mercy itself, like bone stock with all-wheel drive and all that stuff, it's ungainly to drive. If you're not like, I've driven fast cars before, and I'm not God's gift to driving. I'm not a professional race car driver. I've had very little track experience, but I know my own limits and what I'm comfortable with. And with this car, I don't even want to approach that. So I'm like very, very like just, okay, maybe we'll take a little bit of a,
Yeah, well, Lamborghini didn't even really care about racing at all as a company until the Gallardos.
It didn't.
And so my Countach, your Mercy, that's a highway GT car, pretty much.
It is.
You set it at 90 on a desert road, and it's perfectly happy.
And it feels like nothing. Like 110 in this car feels like you're doing 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It feels like nothing.
That's what it's designed for.
That's what it does.
And it will do it all day.
Yeah.
All day.
That's the thing that it does. And it does it well.
Yeah. The Canyon stuff, we didn't go on anything super technical.
No.
It was more like kind of...
No, because I was in a 4,200-pound Vanquish.
Right. Well. But your car, that's like a normal car.
It is a normal car.
Yeah, so you have like weight at the front.
Yeah.
And the car behind us was a 911 GT3 RS, which is like, has all the computers from, friggin' NASA, and it can take any corner ever. But
plus, you haven't spent much time in that car on top.
No. So I wasn't doing anything like
it's just more important. It's not about speed or anything. It's just like, do you like it or not?
I like it.
You put a lot of time into it.
I like it a lot.
Good.
So it is very fun to drive. The thing I actually don't like is the attention. The attention that car gets is insane because everybody looks at it, everybody wants to take a picture, and that's fine. I'm just not that kind of guy.
Yeah,
I'm not the kind of guy that
you should sell it then because it's not going to stop.
No, I know, but listen, I've built up my if I go anywhere like a car place, like people are going to know me, so I like.
You still the Gallardo?
No, I
you got rid of that?
No, I
still have it.
I have it. Yeah.
But that's not as heated as this one.
It's not because it's white and it can potentially. Kind of blend into something. It is like still like
Mercies are fucking big. They're visually imposing.
They're very wide. They're very. It's a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
But I like driving the car. It's actually not as scary to drive as I thought. It's actually very easy to drive.
Yeah,
like
it's intimidating is all it is.
So
but ungainly is the right word. They are kind of ungainly.
So I thought it was intimidating, and then because I thought, it's going to be so wide, and like what am I going to do, and like what. It's not really that bad. I mean, like driving your Countach. You were driving it in traffic. Like after a while, it's like it's a car.
I was scared of it for like 20 minutes, and then it was fine.
It's exactly the same thing.
It's actually the i8 is an inch and a half wider.
Yeah.
It's actually not even the widest thing anymore.
Other than the attention that you get, like it's actually a pretty decent car to drive. I do not like the seating position.
Yeah, it's a little canted off the side
because your left leg starts.
I think the Mercy was the worst of any of those.
It's real bad.
Worse than mine.
So you don't get like a cramp from your left leg. People think that's because like the clutch is heavy. On the Countach, the clutch is heavy, right?
People keep telling me that, but I don't actually find that to be the case.
Yeah. So I think it's a misnomer because I've never driven a Lamborghini with like a really, really heavy clutch.
No, it's not. My Porsche clutch is substantially heavier.
What I think on the big boy Lambos is the case is the fact that you are like pushing kind of against yourself in a weird angle, and then that like puts pressure on your hip in a way that it's not supposed to.
It could be, and also the dead pedal in the Mercy's in kind of a weird place too.
It's in the worst place.
Yeah.
Well, everything's really, really close together. So
pinched.
like, yeah. So if you have size like 12 feet, like that's your.
My car is barefoot. I drive barefoot.
Okay.
Take my shoes off.
What size shoe do you have?
12.
Okay. Yeah. So it's I'm size 11, and I'm like just.
Dude, try it barefoot. It's nice. Here in California, we go flip flops barefoot. You in Florida, flip flops barefoot.
But don't you need like a permit for that here?
Well, you need a permit. Only if everybody gets equal flip flops.
These are my service flip flops. These are my service flip flops. I need to have them.
For my anxiety. I can't drive them.
All right, let's go to some questions, and I don't know if we're gonna get through all of them, but because there's a lot, and I'll hold over. Oh, we got a decent amount. Eric says, top 3 Porsche GT cars from a value perspective: 997 GT3. 997 GT3 RS. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
2015 GT3, which is now down to like 105 grand. Those are my 3.
All right, so I would do 991.1 GT3, not RS.
Vinny, will you water me?
Then I would do 997.2 Turbo PDK, because you can get those in like the 80s, and that's like the fastest freaking car you can get for that kind of money.
They are crazy fast and great fun.
Yeah, and then 996 Turbo. Like you can get those for like in the 40s, and that is a lot of car.
That's a ton of car. That engine's good for like 1,000 horsepower.
It is
golden.
Yeah.
Juan Martin Ramon says, Isaiah says, which Fast and the Furious character do each of you closely identify with?
Oof. I don't know. Me, I don't know. I don't know.
You look like Vin Diesel.
No, I definitely don't. I got the shirt, $1 Million Show Car. Check that out.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We just saw Fast and Furious musical again. It's fucking great. They just added a show. December 13th is their next show.
Do they have anything online, like you can watch a clip or something?
I don't even think so. They have an Instagram page. They did it as like a goof, and then it's like good and selling out.
And it took off? Yeah.
It's so funny, though. It's really some of the best writing I've heard in a really long time.
I can't wait for the day for the Fast and Furious to be on Broadway.
That's Fast and Furious and show tunes. That's like my 2 favorite things.
I identify the most with Vince. No.
The Rock.
With The Rock. Yeah, probably The Rock. Because we like meat.
Yeah. So, I actually Tyrese's character Roman is my least favorite character. I think he's very annoying and not very funny. I don't know. I like the characters in that series are very one-dimensional, and they don't really like. There's no character arcs.
It's really funny. There's like in the Fast and Furious musical. They have a song that's called Archetypal Character, and the whole song is The Rock, Ludacris, and Tyrese singing about how they only do one thing because they're archetypal characters. Really fucking
I was going to say Ludacris.
Song.
I would be the one I identify with.
Of course, Vinny would be Ludacris. Yeah. Because Miami, because shops.
Well, no, because his character's like the kind of the gadget geeky kind of guy.
I like the guy from Tokyo Drift. That guy that was like 40 and acting like he was 17.
the one that put the 2J in the Mustang.
What do you mean drift? That guy.
I wish I aspire to be more Han. I would like to be more Han.
Yeah. Han is cool, but like after a while, you kind of realize that they're all terrorists. Yeah. Like after the 5th movie, is like they just killed a lot of people. Like how does
song about that? Too?
Yeah. Exactly. Do you like there's footage of them like ramming that vault like directly into cop cars, and they're like like. Hold on. That guy had a family. Like,
there's a song about that too. There's a side.
I have to watch this.
There's a side plot about a henchman's family with his wife and kid. It's really funny.
It's like, listen, as long as like they're just following orders.
A job
like,
is a job, honey. It's a good job.
Exactly. It's like explaining it. It's like, no, we can. Like, we'll get out. Don't worry.
She's like, but you don't even believe in the cause. He's like, but you and the baby. It's so fucking funny.
Oh Oh God.
Go see the Fast and Furious musical if you're in LA. Well, I'm going to go again on December 13th because it's fucking hilarious.
Do they have? Is it only here?
Yeah, it's just here. It's like it's small. It's the theaters.
Listen,
like maybe
we're gonna evangelize this thing. It's gonna be like Hamilton. Okay?
Somebody needs to give these people money because they are the funniest fucking people around right now.
You guys, everyone watching, give these people money.
Yeah, go buy their tickets and they'll keep going.
Go buy tickets and donate to their Patreon if they have
one. Ramon says, when is the Mercy getting twins, meaning turbos?
Never.
Yeah, that's I figured. That ruins the hashtag provenance.
Yeah. No, it also ruins the hashtag car. So,
Meister 101 says, I'm thinking about getting my first watch, looking for some budget recommendations until I'm sure I like wearing them.
Oh, actually, I got a great recommendation. So I'm sort of a watch guy. I don't know. I don't know if you are, Matt.
What do you got?
So I like Timex. The Casios are really good.
The digitals.
Yeah, of course. Those are getting back in style.
They're ironic cool.
Yeah. Those things that you get with Happy Meals, like those are great. So that's what I say.
Big fan of the swatches.
Yeah,
the swatch.
Awesome. Yeah.
You done?
No. Yeah.
I recommend the Seiko Turtle. It's like probably $300 on Amazon, $350 on Amazon. You get this bracelet, which is called a Jubilee bracelet with these beautiful links. That bracelet's like maybe another $100. Day, date, dive complication, and waterproof.
When you say dive complication,
that's wrong. Day, date, complication, dive watch. I said it backwards. I apologize.
Because a dive complication sounds like something that they tell your wife when
there's some
when you don't come up for air.
There are some watches that have a depth gauge in them, but not this. But this, you buy this for $300, it'll literally last you the rest of your life.
So how do you are these? Do you have batteries in them?
No, like automatic.
Or just
automatic. Yeah,
okay.
Mechanical. So you wind it with the crown, and then with the movement of your hand.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Great watch. I recommend it.
It almost looks like a Rolex sort of ish.
Exactly. And when people say nice vintage Rolex, you don't have to correct them.
Yeah, you don't have to put that piece of tape on it and just like write
exactly.
on it. Exactly.
Oh shit. Hey Vin, the dude I got to train is out. Can you tell this dude that yeah, sorry. I got to teach someone how to use Wirecast after this show. Let's see. Montasser says, do you think a dry sump orientation is necessary for a track car? I'm finding very few affordable road cars that are dry sump in the 30 to 60K used range.
It all depends on what exactly you're trying to do. There are plenty of cars that have a wet sump. Like, you can track a Corvette. Just give it like a bigger sump so they have baffles in them, and you should be okay. If you have a car that is very kind of known for oil starvation, specifically in certain cylinders, then maybe you should look into that. Typically, dry sumps are only available on certain models, so you have to have kits. You can do like a universal or a custom setup, but it's going to be like, that's a lot of money. And 30 to 60K range, I would much rather just do maybe like an oil cooler, and then I would do like a bigger, just a bigger pan with some baffling. I don't think it's 100% necessary. It'll definitely help, but it's just like a good dry sump system is like 10 grand.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of money.
And also, if the car didn't come with one, the baffled oil pan is a good place to start.
Yeah.
If it didn't come with one, then it only becomes an issue if you're really going to run like slicks. If you're going to run a 200 treadwear tire, like a lot of like the race series, like the iRace and AER, like they require, that's a street tire series. So if you're not going to run a slick, if you're going to run a sport tire, it may not be necessary at all.
So just to really quickly, if anybody doesn't know what a dry sump is, it's just because you need a way for the oil to get into the engine. The oil sump on a traditional car that's called a wet sump, it's just like on the bottom of the engine. That's where all the oil sits, and then there's oil pickup, and that goes throughout the engine. When you're racing, that oil sloshes to one side because you experience lateral Gs. With the dry sump system, there's not much oil in the pan, but it's in a reservoir, and then it gets fed by a pump, and then those go so it's a lot more stable at high Gs. However, that G force is like you can make it a lot with just a bigger oil pan and baffles.
Yeah. Cool.
I think I was gonna say a lot of that would depend on the car and the track and the conditions that you're gonna go on. I mean, if you're if you're not going to be in a track or in a car that's going to run high enough G's for it to matter, there's no point in it.
It needs to be a fairly sustained high G's. So, like, if as an example, ovals is one. Willow Springs with the big turn 8, turn 9 complex, which is like, a 20-second corner, really. So is it necessary? No, it's not. But it may help.
Yeah, it could help.
Parker said, how would either of you fix Mitsubishi?
So I am really bad at knowing what the trends are, because like now apparently cars are going out of style. So I don't know. I would say, hey, Mitsubishi, make something, make a Halo car again. But making Halo cars is very expensive. Like, look at Toyota, look at the Supra. It's basically just a BMW, and they're like, that's one of the biggest car companies in the world. So Mitsubishi, I don't know if there's anything they can do, but they have a ton of SUVs. Why don't they do an SUV Evo like they did with the Shogun Evo? And do like a Dakar rally or something.
Well, I mean, they have cool. Provenance with that, with the Pajero and some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Done,
so they're known for that.
Yeah,
they could lean into overlanding.
That would, and that wouldn't
like a new Montero, could be a cool thing. Like, I would say
it could, but I just don't think they have any money. Have you seen any new Mitsubishis on the road? Like, at all?
The Eclipse Cross, which is a very, very sad vehicle.
Eclipse Cross. That sounds
it's
like
a real. Have you seen one?
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd find in Alabama.
They just stole the Eclipse name, put it on a. Yeah.
It's a very, very sad vehicle. It's okay from the front, but it's really offensive from the back.
It's yeah.
I need this.
In the back,
why is this not loading? You fucking hoe.
The side profile is not.
This
terrible.
is. I mean, look at this window. This rear window. It's got this disaster of a split rear window.
Hey, the CRX had that. What are you talking about?
It almost looks like it's coming, like it's folding in on itself. I don't know.
Like the irony is, if it had a normal rear window, it would not be a terrible looking car.
Right, but I'm guessing this is because of some like crash test something, or like they had to do this. Like nobody thinks of this and like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, I don't think Mitsubishi's interested in being fixed. I think they're going to slowly exit the market.
Do they still make TVs
cars.
And like
they make a ton of other shit. They make industrial stuff and like forklifts and all that kind of stuff.
So maybe they don't need to make cars.
That's what I'm saying. I think they don't make money doing cars, and I think it's some type of smaller business. Yo, dude, come on in. It's okay. What's up?
How are you?
You can go. You can chill over there for a few minutes while I finish up. Yeah, thanks. I don't think they're interested. I think they're interested in making other things.
Right.
One of the members of the group was interested in pursuing cars, and that person's gone, and that's the end of that.
I mean, they made really iconic cars for a while.
No, they had 10, 12 years where it was like a bunch of awesome fucking cars, and then they just didn't invest money anymore.
I bought my VR4 back, my 3000 GT VR4.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Does it work?
Oh, it works great. We drove it 2,000 miles on a road rally. Everyone thought we'd break down. Not one breakdown.
Did you buy it for more or less than you sold it for?
Same amount.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Same amount.
Nice. Vinny bought his car back, too.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It does. It's weird.
Money,
it's kind of a weird...
It is. It's like, there's a bit of like, why did I do this?
Getting back together with an ex feels exactly the same way.
Like, hey, all the stuff that I liked and hated is still here.
Yes. What else we got? Let's see. Dr. Coy says I have a slightly modified Cayman S for the last 7 years, but I have kids now and I need to be able to put them in the back. Would I regret moving on to a Type R, assuming you mean a Civic or a BMW M2? Which do you recommend?
Ooh. I mean,
look, I think honestly going from a mid-engined beautiful car like a Cayman to a Type R M2 is a step backwards in sports cars.
I think so too, especially a Type R. That is a big step back
from a Porsche. It is.
I mean, it's. I understand the whole like the elitism thing, but like, is it possible that you can just buy like a 4-door car that's
911s have back seats for kids?
Yeah, but then those kids grow up, and then you got to have this problem all over again. So what if you just got a cheap 4-door car, like, I don't know, like a
daily,
a daily or something,
Camry.
And then just have this. Yeah, you don't have. Again, I don't know if this person just has one car garage.
A Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross.
That's right.
Yeah, great.
You can be the one guy that buys one this year.
No, I think I agree. Like, if you're trying to do a full package in one thing, I mean, to go from a Cayman to anything else.
Does a new C8 have back seats?
No.
So why do they need like a trunk and like all and golf bags and all that crap?
They're really leaning into that golf bag thing, man.
Dude, so did McLaren.
They're committed to McLaren's got the golf bag thing with the GT too. Yeah,
everybody does the golf bag thing.
Not everybody.
How many
Lamborghini don't give no fucks about
your
golf bag.
There's no space. It's not even like luggage or
even
like
Ferrari doesn't.
Anywhere.
I'm not even sure you get a golf bag into that F12 trunk.
They built an FF.
Oh, the FF you could. Yeah, the FF
basically built. It's SUV.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're gonna see my. You've seen my Type R videos. You're gonna see my M2 video comp package coming up soon. I didn't love the M2. I didn't. I liked it by itself compared to other cars.
It's a Supra two-door, two seat.
No back seat.
No back seat.
No. Lotus Evora 400. That has a little back seat.
Yeah, but then that's a little.
All the cars are going to have front engines except the 911. It's the only one.
The thing is, if you have something like sort of nice, like, do you want to be the guy that's like getting kids in and out of? Like, kids are dirty. Like, they'll get crayons and crap in there.
Panamera.
Like, a Panamera would actually be really good. A Panamera, yeah. So okay,
it's not dynamically a Cayman.
Yeah, but it's dynamically pretty good. Like, you get a Panamera Turbo S.
I guess
how about that?
He doesn't
$180,000 car.
He's not saying what he's doing with the Cayman S.
Is
he tracking it at all? Is he just? He doesn't say.
I don't know. He's just basically the problem is going out of a mid-engine car into a front drive car or a front engine rear drive car is a step backwards.
Yeah, I think we're overthinking this. I think
we talked about this in the last podcast.
The answer to his question is yes, you would regret it.
Yes, yes, simple enough.
And try to avoid that scenario.
Is it too late to return the kids? I mean, like, I'm just kidding.
Murder the kids, keep Porsche.
No.
Santiago Domingo says, of all the latest supercars you've driven, is there one you would own if you could? Yeah, if I had all the money, 720 is where it's at. I like the 720 so much, I booked another one. And they liked me so much, they gave it to me. I got a Spider coming next week.
That's awesome.
I'm doing a charity track day. Mm-hmm. A YouTuber who's... I'm going to get in trouble because his name is... I'm blanking on his name right now. Hang on, let me look on my phone. There's a charity track day at California Speedway.
Oh, no. I know who this is.
Uh-oh. Is this about to go bad?
I know who that... We'll talk off air.
Oh, great. Well...
You might...
am I going to bail?
You might.
Oh, bail. Fuck me. Well, I'm going to get the 720 either way.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I was invited to that same thing. I would...
Where YouTubers are allegedly setting lap times?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yep.
Okay.
Did they send you an email with like a bunch of these people
like a pitch
who are...
deck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
It's called Racing for Children.
Okay. We'll talk off air.
Oh. So am I not going to this? Maybe.
I would.
Right,
advise you
we'll
not to do this.
Figure it
yes.
All right. Well.
I would say the 812 super fast.
Definitely give as much charity to children. All that stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine. I know you're a charitable person.
No, I want it to be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I do a lot of charity.
I'm not saying it's not legit.
Don't do all the charity.
I'm just telling you.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Anyway.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what hypercar would you pick?
I'm not a hypercar guy. I don't. So I think sort of like if you've seen one of those cars, you've seen them all. Like 918, Veyron, Chiron. Like they're super duper fast. The second you get it on the road and then you see like a freaking Tercel with his bumper hanging off and like that guy's on his phone, like there's the real world hits you and like you hit a pothole. If you hit a pothole in a Chiron, like
oh my god,
god, the amount of crap that would come out of my butt is like it's insane. Like it would just ruin that interior.
Yeah, I like. Yeah,
quit ruining the fantasy with reality.
Have any of us participated in the Gambler? I've not. Have you?
Not yet.
The off-road thing.
No, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. It looks like fun, but it also looks like a complete shit show.
Yeah, Gamble 500. Yeah,
would be fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah, maybe we should do it together.
We
could do the Gambler.
Yeah,
maybe next year.
I'm down for cheap cars.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Sure.
I can appreciate that someone has asked this question, but there's literally no answer. Should I get rid of my GT86 while it is still worth anything?
It's not going to go down to zero.
It'll never go down to zero. It will slowly level out even at around, it'll never be worth less than like $6,000.
So what's going to happen is you're going to find people that get these things for drifting or whatever. It's going to have a resurgence just like the 240, and now 350Zs are going up.
That's ridiculous.
Which is weird. Like you can get a 350Z for nothing. Like I remember that there was something, and then now there were nothing, and now they're a little bit something.
They're going back to the $4,000-$5,000 range where they were $2,500 for a little while.
It's just $2,500 is low.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I found it for $1,500 before.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
You get a salvage title one's a little beat up that you're just going to play with on the track for $350. I mean, yeah, but now they're
G35 is even less so. Like a 4-door G35, like a 4-door 03 G35 was like worthless.
Yeah.
Maybe you should build a drift car.
Maybe I shouldn't because that's where views go to die.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, building a drift car because like I'm not a drifter. Like the amount of time that it would take for me to actually go and like demonstrate something is like I'm gonna need to do that for a year before that pays off. So it's fair.
Yeah. Any mid-engine car that isn't a bitch to work on?
Here's the thing. Most mid-engine cars.
Tomaso Pantera.
Well, no, I mean like most mid-engine cars actually aren't that hard to work on, other than like a Porsche Boxster, Toyota MR2. Like I'd say the lesser mid-engine cars are somewhat troublesome to work on. The better ones like the Lambos and Ferraris, they're actually not that bad.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. What car would you... This is a combination AD1 and Ryukachu, combining two questions into one. What car would you EV swap?
So a ton of YouTubers and people are going to be doing EV swaps in the next year. I know that for a fact. And it's going to be, I wouldn't do a supercar because the latest and greatest Tesla is just going to beat that all over the place. So what I would do, I'd probably do a rock crawler. Probably do like an off-roader because you need torque. You don't need a ton of horsepower. You're not going a million miles an hour.
Precise throttle response.
Yeah, throttle response, and you could have whatever axle scenario you want. It's relatively easy, and bigger trucks have more place for batteries. So I think that would be like a good thing to go. And like if you get like an old Bronco or something, you just like. That'd be perfect.
I'd be curious on how the battery situation would deal with the center of gravity on an off-road truck, but you'd really have to kind of
just put it low. I mean, like
low as you can.
Yeah, I mean, so usually trucks have frames. So what you would do is you just put it right in the middle of the two, two frames, two frame rails.
Cool. I think I would like to see an EV like a Rolls Royce. Like
that
a 60s
cool.
or 70s Rolls Royce EV, I think would be pretty fun.
Is Corbin interested?
Corbin, Corbin bought a CTSV, but I saw there's a kid floating around. We saw him the other day at Cars and Coffee. We saw him yesterday, who got a silver Spur for like $7,500.
Oh,
and it's
nice.
Yeah. And I was like, good for you, sir. And he's cruising around.
That's awesome. Good luck with those brakes and everything else. Yeah.
Derek's Garage. Oh, just a donation. Thank you, Derek. Chris from B is for Build. What was up? How did his Lambo look at SEMA?
So his Lambo was very interesting. So he built a Huracan out of this burnt shell. And you can go on his Instagram or even my Instagram. I have pictures of that.
On your Instagram?
Yeah, it's on there too. But you can go on his. It's like one of my.
You're here and he ain't, so we're plugging yours.
Yeah, that's it.
We're plugging yours today.
So he did this crazy build. It was like a burnt shell, and he rebuilt the back half. He did a Texas Speed 1500 horsepower LS with twin Garrett turbochargers. He did a manual swap. And he did like a lot of
wheels are kind of cool. What are these wheels?
The rotiforms, yeah.
Those rotiforms are pretty rad.
Yeah. So he
has most of an interior.
Yeah. There's somewhat of an interior. So it's very interesting. It's very, very striking.
Does it work?
Sorta. So I mean it's a SEMA crunch thing. So I know that he drove it out and it made a good noise. So it didn't explode or anything.
So it moves.
Fine. Yeah, it moves.
Okay.
I think it definitely needs some more fine tuning to go because he wants to go down the racetrack and stuff. And I wish him luck. So I would race him because I also have a twin turbo Lambo. So I think that would be kind of a good race.
But he completely fabricated a rear subframe for the car, right?
So he bought a rear subframe from another car.
Oh, okay.
And then he welded that on, and then he did a ton, like him and his welder Oscar, who I also met, also awesome dude. They made, you see that like scaffolding on the back,
this
like
thing
all
down here,
that stuff
like
is
where
is
the rear bumper
made.
used to be.
Everything is custom made, like all the heat exchanger stuff, even on the front, because all that stuff. He had a Super Trofeo body kit. He made that body in the back, like literally made from scratch.
I like Chris, and I totally respect people who do this, but like the question is like, how do you, if you're going to take something like this that's had like five, and now you've designed and made some sort of rear ladder frame thing back here, you're going to go on a racetrack with that now? How do you know?
No, so for me, I'm very, very, very risk averse. So for me, like I wouldn't drive this car on a racetrack because what happens if you crash?
Yeah,
that's it. Because it doesn't have a roll cage, and that doesn't like this stuff is
like I think it looks cool as hell.
Oh yeah,
like that. This engine looks rad.
It looks cool. It's just like it doesn't. I remember I was actually looking at Bosey's Twitter yesterday, and he was like, looking at the back of like Alex Choi's car. The
That's kind of rough.
Yeah, and then he was like, well, there's no place for the energy to absorb like at the back. It's like there's nothing, nowhere for it to go.
Yeah.
If Bosey decides your build sucks,
no. Bosey is
the
like,
Lord has spoken.
Bosey is like the best guy ever. I love Bosey so much. But I mean, it's very striking. It gathered a lot of like, this isn't a car that you're like, like this is like either it's really cool or I hate it. So it's very polarizing. I actually like the look of the car. I think Chris needs to do a little bit more work as far as like fine tuning, that sort of thing. But that's always the case.
It'll come with time.
Yeah, look, considering he started with a burned car, like God bless, have fun.
I mean, he did
crazy shit.
He did so like this is unlike any other car in the world, and I wish him the best of luck with it.
Yeah, he rules. He has an open invite next time.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude, and he just proposed to his girlfriend, and she said yes.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations.
Branded Tile says, I just quit my job to start a YouTube channel building salvage supercars.
Mazel tov.
Good luck. Freddy, what are some techniques you practice to keep organized and focused while building, and what are some important things to focus on while trying to grow a new channel?
Cut yourself.
Yeah.
No. I would say just find out what your audience likes, and then see, just go with what they like. Just make sure that you're. There's a lot of things that other people do. There's a ton of rebuilding channels out there, and for you to quit your job, like that means that you're probably making somewhat of a decent income. Like you can at least pay your bills, hopefully. So just look at what like the best videos that you've done, and then emulate stuff that you've seen from other builds that you like, and then just make your own stuff. Like make your own style, make your own way of approaching these builds, and then. It'll work out, and it's always over time. There's no car that's like gonna take off for your channel. Like for me, the Lambo, like it did well, but then after a while, it like kind of plateaued, and then you have to see what the next thing is, and then because people are always going to be hungry for the next thing.
I think people forget that at the end of the day, it's still you're still putting out a product like anything else,
right?
And
right.
You've got to make those changes on the fly and cater to your audience regardless of what it is.
Yeah. But good luck.
I also my little 2 cents into this is whatever it is you're doing for your channel, make sure you enjoy it, because you're going to do a lot of it.
Yeah.
And you're going to do a lot of it for a while without really making much money.
Also, on the enjoyment thing, make sure to take time off from it, because there are times when people think like, oh, you're working on a Lamborghini and this is crazy, and like you have this crazy supercar. There are times when like the last thing I want to do is look at that freaking car.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I have to turn another wrench on this thing, like I'm gonna scream. So yeah, sometimes it's like you just take a week off, and then you kind of get some much needed perspective.
It's hard when the internet exists just like in time and space. Like it's not like going to the office 9 to 5 and coming home. It's like it's always there ready for you.
You're always on.
You need to actively take yourself off it.
What's interesting, just a quick aside, because this LA culture is unlike any other that I've seen. So I've been to LA before, but when I was hanging out with Damon and Dave from DDE, we went down to Rodeo Drive, and boy howdy was that a masterclass in branding. So I went there, and everyone had their phones out, everyone had their cameras, they were all vlogging, they were all like going to their own audiences and brands and merch and all this stuff, and I'm like, this is nuts, this is crazy. Like normal people, this isn't what normal people do.
Nothing in LA is normal.
And in the things that I personally do with my time, like outside of work, obviously I'm filming myself for work, but like outside of that, you don't really see me doing that. And I'm not saying I'm like It's just, and like when I took you to Cars and Coffee, like we didn't really see that. We saw the kids standing on the corner, but we didn't really see that at the Cars and Coffee with like those kind of folks.
I think it's because the people who are doing that are usually younger. There weren't any. I think the oldest person there, other than Dave and Damon and myself, were like, I don't know, like 18 or 19, and they all had 720s and Performantes and whatever, just going up and down doing laps with their stupid pops and crackles. But it's one of those things where like I just don't understand. Like maybe it's like they have an idea that this is what they can provide to the world, and this is what people want to see. Like they want to see me flex, they want to see me live, they want to see how I do things, and like I mean I
maybe
don't know.
they do,
maybe they do. I'm not gonna say they don't, but it's just like I hate that stuff. Like I was there and I'm like, this is not. I'm getting anxiety from this. Like this is. Too. I can't stand here. It's
crazy.
I don't really. That's why I don't go to Beverly Hills.
Yeah. No, it's if anybody ever goes to a place like that, like if anybody comes to LA, go there just to see the circus. Like the circus that is Rodeo Drive. Yeah. Like that was a eye-opening moment for me.
The rest of our questions are. I don't want to say they're not interesting, but I think we are. Let's see. Oh, Ring Brothers El Camino. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see an El Camino. That would be excellent.
That would be awesome. Yes.
Very cool.
First track day coming up at Streets of Willow. Listen to the experts. Take instruction.
Yeah.
Don't just listen, and don't be afraid to ask questions. No one's going to think you're stupid. They're going to think you're stupid if you drive the wrong way out the track.
Don't try and prove something.
Yeah.
Don't overdrive.
Yeah. What's up with the $1 Million Mile Lexus? It's waiting for restoration at Freddy's house.
So all of its oil is slowly seeping into my floor. Which is interesting, but I had an idea that I would turbo it and do all this power and stuff. Dude, people lit me up.
Because it's sacred, son.
It's nuts.
Motherfucking sacred.
They're like, it has history, and you can't do this, and it's like I kicked their dog or something. So like, okay, so I'm gonna restore it.
You must restore,
and I'm gonna see if maybe you went down the museum route, but maybe I can get something going.
Well, you're now officially more famous than I am with more YouTube subscribers.
Oh, is that how it works now?
It does. It's a competition. You're winning.
Okay, it's a competition. Well, I've won. I'm going to plant my flag somewhere, and it's never going to leave. Maybe I'll just, you know what? I can, if I ever meet Jay Leno, I can just be like, hey, would you like a Lexus LS400 with 1 million miles?
I already tried it. He didn't want it.
He didn't want it.
No.
I
seen that thing. It leaks fucking oil.
Okay. Why does he sound like a prospector?
Because he's wearing denim.
It's the best I got, man. I'm sorry.
I say it.
Yo, follow Freddy on the gram, The Real Tavarish on Instagram. Yes. Of course, his YouTube channel is just straight Tavarish.
Yes.
He fucking takes shitty cars and makes them less shitty. That's the move.
Oh, yeah.
That's the move. I love it, dude. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you so much.
And until the truck shows up, your car will be at Westside Collector Car Storage.
Yes, it will.
Not available for viewing, so go fuck yourself, y'all. But we keep it nice and safe for you until the truck shows up.
It's going to be available for viewing on your Instagram.
There's pictures of it on my Instagram where you can't see anything else besides your car. I texted you those pictures.
Yeah.
You're always welcome anytime you're in town.
Very cool.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your week in Los Angeles. Yes. And thank you for the Fast and the Furious Mercy Hot Wheels.
That's right.
Which is fucking money.
We'll go in the collection.
I like it. I have some really interesting off the wall Hot Wheels. I like that one very much.
Very cool.
Freddy Tavarish Hernandez, kids. That's it. And Vinny, do we have anything?
No, I think we're good this week.
We got a week full podcast. It's nice to be home. Week. Lynn Woodward is on the podcast tomorrow. She did the Rebel Rally and wants to come talk about that.
Nice. She's super cool.
That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, folks. We will see you back then. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone, a connection to the internet, and ideally something to say. Good afternoon, folks.
Bye-bye.